Hi, everybody. How are you? So people is joining now. Thank you very much for being here today in our second webinar, Procure4Health project. So today we are going to talk about the innovation procurement process. So this is our second insight. So this is the webinar associated to the second insight from Procure4Health community. My name is Maria Bernabé from Take Biomed, one of the supporting organization of the Procure4Health community. And yes, to allow me to share you some housekeeping rules. So if you have any question during our presentation, you can type them in the Q&A box. So it is in the bottom of the screen. So feel free to send us your question, and we will address them after the presentation. And also, just to keep you informed that this webinar is being recorded, and this recording will be made available on the Procure4Health community platform and in our YouTube channel. So 1-3 days after this session. And you can follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn. So you can tag us by using our usernames, and we will be more than happy to receive your posts and mentions. The agenda for today's webinar is, you can see in this slide that I will be delivering a short presentation about our Procure4Health community, its benefits, and the upcoming activities we are working on. And then we will move to the key point of the webinar, that is the second insight. So the process of innovation procurement, its key steps and existing instruments. It will be introduced by Diana Cortez, senior consultant from Silo, other of our Procure4Health supporting organization. After that, we will move to the third presentation, delivered by Raquel Ares from Silo as well. And she will be introducing the lesson learned from the PCP eCare, the eCare project, a PCP project. And to conclude, we will have Caterina Sampol, coordinator for Public Procurement of Innovation from the Hospital Sant Pau, Barcelona. She will be introducing the Ritmocore PPI and TIC PCP project. And after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session. So you are invited to send your question by this chat. Okay, so as I mentioned before, my name is Maria Bernabé from Take Biomed, and I will just to do a short presentation of our community. So our Procure4Health is a community of the European Community of Health and Social Care Innovation Procurement. So it's a community made by procurers for procurers to foster the innovation procurement in the healthcare sector. And we start in June 2022 with 19 procurers founding members, and now new procurers organization, new healthcare organization are joining us and taking part in our community. So we have several services in our community. So by joining the community, you will have access to our services, and you can register to the platform and have access to all of them. So we have a capacity building catalog. So a lot of resources are available to guide you on each step of the innovation procurement process. So this is the part that we are focused to address the knowledge sharing, the experience exchange, and the capacity building. So all these resources are available in the platform. and you can learn from others and exchange experience also through our trainings. We will have also the discussion group. So we have several working groups established so far. And the idea of our community is to offer you a dedicated online platform where you can access and create your own profile and associate it to your organization. And you will be able to participate in these discussion groups and webinars and so on. And also access to matchmaking tools, the library of resources, and the marketplace for innovation challenges later on. So as you can see in this slide, our goal is to get at least 100 health and social care procurers until the end of the project. This is the 5 working groups we have in the platform so far. So you can register access to the platform and join them through our online community. So we have working groups devoted to digital, healthcare and ICT, sustainability in procurement of innovation, precision and predictive medicine, integrated care, and the new one, impactful innovation, that has been launched some weeks ago. The identification of common needs is another key, another goal of our community. So we will be supporting you in the preparation of procurement based on common needs through the implementation of this innovation procurement via all the phases of the project, such as the needs assessment, market analysis, open market consultation, and analysis of innovation procurement. So this is this needs identification are an ongoing process, and we are trying to identify them through our working groups established so far. So we will also set up a marketplace on the platform later on. The last but not least is the streamlining for policy. So the Procure4Health community intend to contribute to the EU growth policy and strategy. So we will be exploring funding STEM to co-finance the procurement of innovation and influence policy at the European level on procurement of innovation for the healthcare sector. So our Procure4Health community will develop a position paper on public procurement policies. Also an action plan we are working on in an action plan for policy advancement. So here you can find by accessing our Procure4Health website, you will be able to access to our community. So we have a page devoted to the community. So you can join us through this page, and you just have to register to the platform, and then you will have free access to all the services as procurers. So we will have different sections devoted to the twinning call, the news from the community, the members that are part of the community, the organization, and so on. And as I mentioned before, today we will be introducing the Procure4Health Insight number 2 by Silo. So the name is the innovation procurement process. So after my presentation, Diana will be introducing it to us. And just to conclude my presentation, I just want to inform you about the ongoing activities we are carrying out now. So we will have the call for twinning open until 31st May. So we are looking for public and private procurers in the healthcare sector to finance them with up to 30,000 euros per partnership. And also we will have our upcoming events. We will be taking part in a panel session during the Radical Health Festival, the 12th of June. So our Procure4Health project coordinator, we will be there taking part in this session on about how we can make innovation more impactful. And our next webinar, please save the dates for the next one on 6th of June. We will be delivering a webinar as a demonstration about our Procure4Health community platform. So we will go in depth with this part of the project. And on the 8th of June, we will launch our working group on impactful innovation. So we will have a webinar devoted to this working group, and we will go into detail. And in July, we have to set the day. We don't have it, but we will stay tuned because we will have our third webinar related to the insight, to the Procure4Health insights on July. So keep yourself updated, subscribing to our newsletter. Thank you very much for your attention. Now we will move to the second presentation. Diana, the floor is yours. You can share and start introducing the insight number 2.
Okay, thank you very much, Maria. I will share my presentation. Just give me a second. You can see it properly, I imagine. Okay, so good morning to everyone. My name is Diana Cortés. I am a senior consultant at Silo. Silo is a Spanish consultancy based in Madrid, which promotes innovation through public and private partnership. In Procure4Health, we are core members and members of the management board. And today we are going to give you a basic knowledge about the process of innovation procurement, especially what concerns the key steps and existing instruments. So to start with the concept, according to the OECD, public procurement refers to the purchase by governments and state-owned enterprises of goods, services, and works. 12% of the GDP is the amount spent in the OECD countries on public procurement. So in short, what innovation procurement is the development of innovative solutions through public procurement. Here, what is meant is that the public sector faces many challenges, such as public sector efficiency, healthcare, climate change, energy efficiency, transport, security, and so on. We will be more talking about healthcare, as is a sector we are all in. What is behind, or why the European countries are pushing innovation procurement, is because it has been demonstrated in other countries, such as the United States, that it's a good opportunity to promote growth and quality jobs. So, as we said, the public sector is faced with important challenges. So addressing these challenges often requires public sector transformation. In many cases, solutions are near the market and will be provided if clear requirements or sufficient demand is expressed by the market. This is a case of PPI. In other cases, still R&D is required to do the risk technology, and still competing solution approaches to compare before committing the large-scale deployment. This is the case of PCP. So, as we said, public procurement or demand-driven innovation can open markets for the industry and researchers by creating jobs and growth in Europe. However, it's important to say that the potential of the public procurement is underutilized in the EU. This is due to the fragmentation of the demand and the lack of incentive. For that, we have to work on transnational PCPs and PPIs. So, having said that, this brief introduction, here you have the Public Procurement of Innovation roadmap, which is summarized in these 10 steps. The first step is the needs in the identification and evaluation. Here, the public sector, the administration of the healthcare service, should explore and identify their unmet needs. These needs have to be validated with both the demand and the supply side. The typical activities in this phase are to set dialogues with the experts of the demand side to validate these needs. Also, an analysis of the state of art, the tier level, the intellectual property and legal framework has to be done. Also, an analysis of the funding opportunities have to be done. These are, for example, Next Generation, Horizon Europe, or ERDF. The next step will be the open market consultation. This is the instrument that Public Procurement of Innovation has to validate the need with the unmet needs, with the industry. The administration does a series of webinars where they present their unmet needs so that the industry gives feedback to in terms of price, the tier level, or the period that they estimate to develop the solution. There's also another instrument called the Early Demand Map, which is a document that has a list of unmet needs of the administration. This is very valuable information for the companies, as it has information about the R&D services that administration need. The next step will be the selection of the type of instrument. Here we can distinguish between PCP and PPI, we said before, and we will explain the next slide with more information. Once you have selected the instrument, you have to develop the procurement of innovation tender. You have to have all the information and the requirements clear, and after launch this tender. After an evaluation and selection process of the offers based on the award and selection criteria, the contracts are awarded. Once the contracts are awarded, the project starts and the implementation and monitoring task starts. These tasks are summarized in the work plan, the management plan, including methodology, data management, and also the risk and quality assurance plan. Once the project has ended, the evaluation and impact analysis has to be done, and also the deployment of results. This involves the technical and the administrative closure of the Public Procurement of Innovation project. This is by means of evaluating the level of success of their objectives achieved, the evaluation process, the assessment of the scalability of the solution, and the evaluation to the road to market. Also, as I said, the deployment of the results of the project. The 10th and last step is the change management. This step is seen as one of the main points in the Public Procurement of Innovation projects. To this end, models, methodologies, tools, and procedures has to be articulated in the administration contracting for future procedures. So, as I have said before, there are two types of instruments, the PCP and the PPI. The first of them, the pre-commercial procurement, is where the challenge faced by the public sector demands a radical innovation. Here, there's no solution in or near the market. Here, the public sector acquires R&D services from several suppliers in parallel to evaluate and monitor critical milestones of the call of tenders, the design of the solution, and the prototype testing and validation, to end up with the one more promising. In this case, the IPRs are shared between the suppliers, contractors, and public sector. As we said, the challenge is away from the market, and because of that, the tier level is around 5 or 6 usually. The other instrument is the Public Procurement of Innovation. In this case, the challenge has a solution close or already in the market in a small quantity. So no R&D services are acquired, as there's no real R&D, but innovation. In this case, the tier level is higher, and it also admits incremental innovation, which means production, adaptation, scaling, customization, and so on. In this case, the IPRs are on the hands of the ones that develop the solution. Another point that I want to highlight is the complementarity between both instruments. The pre-commercial procurement is typically implemented in several phases, and the number of competitors is reduced in each of these phases, ending up with the two more promising. The aim of each phase is different, being the phase 0, where the administration identifies the unmet needs, the phase 1, the solution design, the phase 2, the prototype development, and the phase 3, the test and validation of the prototype. Later on, if you want to upscale the solution, you can launch a public procurement of innovation. The main difference between the two instruments is that the pre-commercial procurement is extended from the European Public Procurement Directive. This does not mean that it has not to follow the principles of transparency, equity, and publicity as it has to, but it means certain flexibility in the instrument that allows other players such as SMEs to access the tender. This is by means of relaxing the solvency, technical, and financial criteria. So instead of setting the award and selection criteria on volume, they are set on experience. And just a last point, if you want to find out more information and deepening the instrument, here you have some reference of the European Commission, the OECD, and of course the website and platform of Procure4Health project that Maria also explained before. And this is all by my side. Thank you very much. And I give the word to my colleague Raquel.
Thank you very much, Diana. Yes, now we move to Raquel presentation. So Raquel, you can start.
Okay. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Maria, for the introduction made for the project and also about those useful tools you have introduced, Diana, the PCPs and the PPIs. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay. I think that now you can share my screen. Could you please confirm?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Maria. So, my name is Raquel Ares. I'm manager at Silo. Now, I would like to introduce now this PCP. This is one of the instruments that Diana has mentioned during her presentation. Okay, I will not focus too much on the project itself, but the lessons learned that we have reached after more than 40 months of implementation of this project. Okay, I will not share with you no results for the project because we are currently dealing with the implementation, and so the digital solutions that we want to reach with this project are still confidential. But I would like first to introduce some details about the project and the objective of this PCP. Okay, so the ICARE project, it's a PCP, a pre-commercial procurement process coordinated by us, by Silo. The objective is to produce digital solutions for fertility prevention in all adults. It was funded by the European Commission under an H2020 call. That means that this project started a long time ago in September 2019 and will end next year, in the summer next year. This was two amendments were signed for this PCP due to the COVID pandemic and related issues. The project is implemented by 8 partners from 4 different countries, from Spain, from Portugal, Italy, and Germany. 4 of these 8 partners are the budget group. That means that the procurers buying those or trying to buy these digital solutions that we will produce at the end of the project. And there is also 4 supporting organizations that help those procurers to implement those PCP. It's our case because we are the coordinators of the project, but we also come with Big Biomed, supporting the communication and dissemination actions. Yaga, supporting us with the e-tendering process, and also Amadora, that's a Portuguese organization with a huge expertise from the social care side. continue. Okay, with the next slide. Well, why this project? Okay, well, the reason under this project is that frailty is not a disease by itself, but it's a clinical condition. Today, there are a lot of people living with frailty. 1 out of 4 adults over 85 years is living with frailty. That means that they are living with anxiety and depression, that they are living with loneliness, they are living with falls. And this is something that burdens a lot about our health public systems. And also frailty is a highly prevalent condition. No country in Europe has adopted a systematic process for its prevention or monitoring. So this is the reason under our PCP project, the current need from the European healthcare systems. So the goal of our project is to deliver disruptive digital solutions. We are focused on the digital health, not any physical solution to manage the frailty. And doing in 2 ways, for the prevention, but also for the management of frailty. Because we want to encourage the independent living of all adults, their well-being, and to relieve health and care services budget pressure, as I mentioned before. So, as Diane introduced, this is a pre-commercial procurement. It's divided into the common phases of a PCP. During the first phase, the phase 0, let's say the curiosity driven research phase, we have current all those steps that Diana mentioned, from steps 1 to 4. That means we have started with the identification of the needs from those procurers involved in the project. We launched a lot of focus group in the 4 different countries to try to analyze which are the real needs from the end users. And when I talk about end users, I'm talking about the all adults, but also the clinical, and the practitioners, and also the social workers involved in the well-being of those all adults. During this process, of course, we launched an open market consultation in order to seek what it's already in the market to cover all this need. What we found during this process is that there is several solutions already available to manage the frailty in all adults, but not with the holistic approach that we want to cover during this project. That means that we check that there is a real need to buy some R&D services from several suppliers, and we get to prepare our COFOT and the documents and to launch the COFOT. Okay. Then we started with the phase one that is covers the solution design. During this phase, 8 contractors, were awarded during 6 months. They were developing and designing the feasible solution to offer to us. They were evaluated at the end of this phase, and all of them were invited to join phase 2 for the prototype development. During this phase 2, just 4 of them were awarded. The 4 awarded contractors has been developing a prototype, and now we have reached just now last week we reached the end of the phase 2, and most of them have successfully completed this phase, and now we are moving to phase 3. Our COFOT tender for phase 3 is open, will finalize on Monday, and the contractors will be evaluated to implement this phase. During this phase, the real solutions, some real solutions will be tested in real life operational conditions with real end users. and at the end of the phase, business plans will be developed. Now, what I want to do is to share with you some lessons learned that we have collected during the implementation of these projects during these last months, in order to try to give you some practical tips when you decide to be involved in a project like this. Our first lesson learned is that for all those organizations involved in this project, PCP was the best instrument for adopting innovation. Why? Because, as I told you, there are several solutions already ready in the market, but none of them were include the digital focus we wanted. None of them include the holistic approach we wanted in order to try to manage and also to prevent frailty. So it was analyzed, those needs. It was decided that the PCP was the best instrument because we want to move from low tier Ls to higher tier Ls. One lesson learned from this project for the procurers is the co-funding model. As you already know, the PCP instruments by the European Commission cover most of the costs from the procurer side. In the case of an H2020 project like this, 10% of the funding must be covered by the procurers, but in Horizon Europe, the current European R&D framework program, the whole PCP instrument is covered by the EU. So this puts you in a good starting point to be involved in the innovation of procurement. More lessons learned, the matchmaking tools. At the beginning of the project, we also launched during phase 3 a matchmaking tool to try to get in contact several companies trying to deal with our challenge. Our challenge was huge, and this is why sometimes companies attending to applying to any call for tender like this does not collect all the technical capacities and skills to apply for. And so to provide the companies with a matchmaking space where they can get in contact to try to found a consortium, it's helpful for them, and this benefits you because this is the way you can receive more bids from your call for tenders. Also about the leadership of the lead procurer. The leadership of the lead procurer is essential for the project to succeed. When you talk about leadership, is that our recommendation after several months of implementation of this project is that the lead procurer should be experienced, because the lead procurer is the one responsible for the call for tenders. Now there is a budget group, but the lead procurer is the one buying. Okay, so to centralize the PCP process in this lead procurer makes the management of this kind of project easier and simplifies all the administrative burden. Also, it's needed to engage and to involve a multidisciplinary team. Okay, innovation of procurement, it's not a matter about the procurement department, but also from your legal department, but also and mainly from your technical personnel involved in your organizations, because the starting point is to try to identify which is your need. Okay, if this is not clear, and this is where the technical personnel must be involved, and then the PCP will be not succeed. Also, PCPs are time-consuming projects. Let's be honest, and let's inform all of those that want to be involved in an innovation procurement project, either a PCP or a PPI. So you need a huge commitment from the budget group needed, and also a huge team involved in the projects, because then that you must prepare good and easy to understand call for tender documents. you have to commit a lot of time to evaluate the offers. If you make a good evaluation of the offers, then you will reach the best bids to develop your project. You must monitor the contracts during a lot of months, so you have to allocate a lot of efforts to implement this project. Moving to the next lesson learned, our recommendation is try to make it simple for suppliers. Most of the time, as I mentioned before, the suppliers that submitted an offer for the PCP are SMEs, are startups. So try to make the process simple and try to drafting the code and the documents easy to read, easy to understand. Try to get in contact with them with a question and answers section to try to clarify them any doubts that they must have, even in the technical process, but also from the legal aspect. Also, in order to do that, digital tools are very, very useful for us to count with it. An e-tendering tool to manage the whole PCP has been very useful, not only for receiving the bids, but also to get in contact during the monitoring process with the contractors. For sure, this facilitates the collaborative work of the budgets group. Also, it's very useful to prepare a detailed evaluation process in order to allocate enough time for the evaluation between each of the phases, but also try to prepare some manuals for the evaluators. Try to allocate enough time for any consensus evaluation to clarify any doubt about the criteria and so on. And last but not least, the co-creation process. Okay, the co-creation process for us is the huge benefit from those projects. The communication with the contractors is key to success in this process, and to establish face-to-face online meetings, email contacts, visits to the premises from the procurers and also from the contractors, because my final message is that try to think that the contractors are designing something for you, just for your needs, and so this process is key to try to reach what you need for your organization. And well, that's all from my side. I will stop sharing, and now I give you the floor, Maria, to continue with.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Raquel. So great presentation. And now we will move to the next lesson learned from other two innovation procurement projects. So the floor is yours, Katarina. You can share your screen and start delivering your presentation.
Thank you very much. I will try first of all to share my screen. Yeah, I don't know.
Can you see the button? It is in the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, but I cannot find my presentation.
Yeah, the slides.
The slide is the presentation.
Maybe it would be useful if you open first the presentation in your PC and then share the screen.
No, I have already.
Okay.
But yeah, compared to the screen. Well, I can. If you consider, I will send you by email my presentation, and please let me help me in presenting. Okay, Maria?
Yes, sure. Send it to me and I will share it with you.
Perfect. So, Maria.
Sorry for that, everybody.
Sorry, yeah, apologize. I will start before before the presentation is.
Yeah, you can introduce yourself and
Yeah, I will do.
hospital.
Yeah. Already sent. Well, apologize again for this inconvenience, but thank you very much for inviting us to Hospital San Pau to share with you our experience in innovative procurement. As I will show you, we started our adventure in innovation procurement a long time ago, is in 2015. We started with a PPI project that was EU funded, but it was called the Stop and Go project that was very successful. And after that, we tried to increase the model we tested with the Stop and Go PPI, and we started a very successful at the end project that is the Ritmo-Core PPI. The Ritmo-Core PPI is also an EU-funded Public Procurement of Innovation. For us, has you received?
No, I didn't receive it.
Well, the Ritmo-Core project is a joint procurement where five procurers from UK and in fact 5 hospitals from UK and from Spain, from Catalonia. We started a big adventure to procure together a new model of treatment for pacemaker patients. Pacemakers patients are very old and they have a lot of problems with the technology because they are very elder in Spain, at least, not not in every place, but also in Spain. And we started this project in 2016. And this project was well, a big challenge for all of us because joint procurement implies implement with the local rules of each procurement country, and they can be very different. So for us, this was a big challenge we solved at the end, but our lesson learned on this sense is that joint procurement is difficult to implement across Europe. It's better to coordinate it to tackle a model with coordinate procurement because the legal barriers can be very tough in this sense. Maria, you didn't receive it?
No, please, can you send me again? I didn't receive. Maybe it's to wait.
Well,
I don't have it in my inbox.
Yeah. No, because it's interesting to show
Katerina, maybe you can send it to me and I try it with my email.
Sorry?
Maybe you can send it to me, to Diana, and I can try to share it.
Perfect. I will also resend it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, perfect. Well, as Maria and Diana mentioned, how we started, why we joined the Rimocore challenge, because we had a big problem. We had a lot of patients that requiring pacemakers. We have a lot of workload to attend these patients, and perfect. Thank you. Well, this is the next slide. This is how we started. We started in 2015, adopting these new models, the stop and go in 2015. In 2020, we started the implementation of the Rimocore model. And now we, with our own budget, we are implementing an improved version of the stop and go at this with the defibrillator, implanted defibrillator. And also we are facing other challenges in the cardiovascular field that are the acute coronary syndrome approach and the global approach for the transcatheter aortic valve implantation process, the whole process. We always look next slide. We joined all this project because of a problem we need to address. In the case of Rimocore, we had dispersion of follow-up. These patients with a pacemaker could be followed up by the primary care, by secondary hospitals, but they needed to come to the hospital to know how his pacemaker has been working until the previous visit to the doctor. And this is we also had a misalignment of provider, administration, and clinicians, because the hospital was responsible for all the process of implantation, and the provider only provided us the technology, and then if complication came, they were not involved. And well, we needed to address all that in looking for value. And looking for value means that we need to define key performance indicator and also to measure together. So next slide. Next slide. Yes. Well, the five hospitals and the supporting entities. One very important thing for the hospitals is that for the healthcare entities is to have a strong supporting entities to help us to jump from a need to a procurement and to implement this innovation in our daily practice. Next slide, please. Well, what did we do? Well, we changed the model from a hospital-centered service implanting pacemakers to a patient-centered care service. Click, please. Maximizing the value for the patient and also for the hospital and also for our procurer. And we reached this big challenge by procuring innovative ICT services supporting our process, new process that we defined during the preparation phase. Next slide. Which were the pillars of the Rimocore model? There were five very important pillars. Change management, as Raquel mentioned previously, and also Diana. The change management is a key pillar of adopting innovation, because there are a lot of barriers inside the organizations to change, and we need to jump to introduce this innovation, these barriers. Also to personalize the therapy to each patient, to be able to implant the most adequate technology to the needs, specific needs of each patient. Monitor remotely our patients in a online with an online service. This is a big innovation we already had tested in the Stop and Go project. And also we introduced the coordination among the different healthcare services, healthcare levels, in order to better treat in a coordinated way our follow-up of our patients with paymakers. And also to activate the patient with educations and coaching and a personalized attention to be more active in their own treatment. This change was facilitated by a change of relationship between buyer and contractor, with a new model of contract, with risk sharing and outcome basis payments. Next slide, please. Well, procuring value-based model, we have been, as have already said, an incremental innovation. We started with the Stop and Go, where the coordinated care was not tackled, and with the pacemaker we went to all this innovation and had very good results, because we get a better approach to the treatment or follow-up of our patients, and had a 30% reduction of hospital visits. And also more than 90% of our patients that were very old, because they have an average age of 85 years, wanted to enroll in the remote monitoring project. So it was very good, and they felt, we know that they felt more secure. One thing that is not in the slides but is very important, we started to implement this model in December 2020, but the pandemic was there, and all our patients felt very much secure with this new model. Help us to better attend our patients during all this pandemic process. Next slide. Well, which were our innovation drivers: the patient-centered care, the patient activation and experience, the value-based procurement, and also the servitization through a public-private partnership. Next slide. Well, we had very good, we are having, because this is still implemented not only in São Paulo, but also in Bellvitge University Hospital in Catalonia, and also in Liverpool Heart and Chest Hospital in Liverpool. In our contract, we had two kinds of indicators: the quality indicators that are worth 5% of the contract value, with a set of indicators to foster the improvement in each of the pillars of our model, and also the activity indicators that were very important for the payment of the services we contracted. We have been able to improve the quality and safety for patients also during the COVID pandemic, and we could increment very much the number of patients attended by remotely, that with the traditional model of follow-up couldn't be possible with the same professionals attending them. Next slide, please. Well, other achievements, we had an excellent emergency response. We improved this emergency response. We had a high rate of early detection of atrial fibrillation episodes that prevents stroke. And we also get a specific support system to follow up the KPIs and also a global control panel with this alert activation that allowed us to improve our outcomes for the patient, that all of them are better than the estimated by publication on these kind of patients. Next slide, please. Well, what have we learned? We learned a lot, but also we learned that changing the industry value chain and mindset is a big challenge. We had resistance to change from the market. We got a judicial appeal that we won, but that make the process very, very, very long. And another lesson we want to share with you is that radical changes should be done step by step, because in both Stop and Go and Rimocore, we get radical innovation in treatment, but with state-of-the-art technologies. That is why PPI is very important for adoption of innovations in the healthcare system. And also these two models are sustainable. I mean, Stop and Go started with a EU-funded project, but now we are funding the second version, the improved version of the Stop and Go. So we will is an innovation that came, a model that are coming to remain in our hospital. Next slide. Also, a very important lesson learned to success in this kind of project, you have to promote the bottom-up approach, because there is a lot of work to be done with a multidisciplinary team, with clinician leadership, and all the actors inside, like innovation, project management, and of course the contracting and legal and contracting experts from the hospital. Next slide. Well, the value base is not for short-term savings, it's for long-term sustainability, and is a long road to be followed. Next slide. Well, but it's worth. In fact, with the Rimocore, we won the European Innovation Award 2022 last December, and as an innovation procurement strategy. We also won other awards and have different publications on management of healthcare that are very important, and results demonstrate us that we can promote more these kind of changes and innovations because there is work for the systems. Next slide. If you want to know more, you can ask us. We will be delighted to share with you more experience on this project. But also you can download the Rimocore handbook from our website. Next slide. Well, in this road from simple to more complicated models, after the Stop and Go, the Rimocore, and other experience in other fields that are not cardiovascular, we started the TICE PCP, that is also a EU-funded project that is we aim with the TKPCP to create a new generation of solutions for innovative care services that with technology allow us to deliver quick responses for individuals with advanced heart failure and complex care needs through integrated care. So it's a big challenge because now we are moving to off-the-shelf solutions. Next slide, please. Well, this is also, I think, is very close to frailty because a lot of our advanced heart failure patients are also frail or at risk to become frail. So this is very, the population we are trying to improve the treatment is very similar than the one in e-care. So we will jump. Next slide. Well, in the TKPCP, we are 3 procurers from 3 very different countries and regions. São Paulo from the Barcelona city is a Barcelona city hospital that is a very dense population in Barcelona. Avellino, that is a regional hospital in Campania, near Naples, that is low dense and with a very aged population, and a very low land dense region, that is region Västerbotten in the north of Sweden, that they have a very different approach, and we think that the 3 procurers represent 3 very different realities across Europe, and the solutions that will be good for our 3 realities can be good solutions for any partner across Europe. So we started in March 21st, and we will finish the project in February 26th. And again, we have very knowledgeable organizations supporting us that are very important in all these big road. Next slide. Well, the challenge I already said. Next slide, please. Well, the ticket challenge wants to offer elder people with advanced heart failure, person-centered care, holistic home-based integrated care, all of these enabled by technology. And maximizing the quality of life and making an efficient use of resources through value-based approach. Next slide. Well, here our vision is that we need coordinated planning, better communication among settings, empower patients and all the care levels, and to work together, specialists of the different health care levels with other specialists like pharmacists, and also to bring to the primary care key role in this new approach to these patients, with monitoring and prediction and prevention. Next slide. Well, what's next? We are now about to start phase 2 of the TKPCP, but as you can see in this slide, there are a lot of complementary projects currently as PCP ongoing, and I think we can create good PPIs for the coming years. We are expecting in 24-25 start a vision with other projects to create new models and to adopt these innovative models. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much, and apologize for the starting of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Caterina, for such a good presentation. So since we are a bit out of time now, I try to reply all the questions typed by the Q&A box. So if somebody else has other concern or question, can contact me directly. And just to mention one question addressed to Raquel, because Dominique asked about the ICARE project. So he said, is there any way to get in contact, take part in ICARE? So they have developed a medical software that early predicts osteoporosis in elderly. Any insights on the process will be highly welcome. So Raquel, if you can answer Dominique about this.
Yes, for sure. Yes, our website, our email contact, and also our social networks are already included in the presentations that we will share with all the attendants of this webinar. But anyhow, if it's about to be involved in any of the phases of the current PCP, I sadly say that it's not possible at this step. Phase 1 is open to any company, any research center, any university that wants to be involved in the PCP. But once that the phase 1 is awarded, yes, the follow-up of the Corfu tenders is made with the awarded companies developing the first phase, and then those are the ones invited to phase 2, phase 3. Let's say, to summarize, phase 1 is open to any supplier, but phase 2 and phase 3 are just for those awarded during the first phase. So sadly, I should say no, but anyhow, please keep and stay tuned about the progress of the project, because once that the phase 3 will finalize, the procurers have the right to move to a PPR or to get in contact with the contractors to try to develop the final solution to be commercialized. So maybe in that case, you will be part of this process.
Okay, Raquel, thank you very much for your explanation. So I think that we are going to conclude the webinar. So I will share the presentation with all of you, and you will have also the registration form for the coming webinars available. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today in this second webinar. And thank you, of course, to you all, to the speakers, Raquel, Diana, and Caterina. It was a pleasure to have you on board during this Insight webinar. I don't know if you want to add something or just to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for attending.
Okay, so see you in the next ones, in the next webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.